Now 1, 2, 3, 4. Welcome friends, you're watching Meryl Mania Guitar, and today we're going to learn the epic AC/DC's Back in Black. We're going to learn basically every part except for the guitar solo. So that's the verse, the chorus and the bridge. In the chorus, I will offer some easier versions of some of these chords as like a second option, just in case you're a total beginner and some of these chords might be a bit tricky, but you might still want to learn the song and join in, and it will still sound the same, so that's cool. So, are you ready to learn some AC/DC Back in Black? In that case, let's do it! So on the guitar, the intro and the verse are played the same way basically, and it begins with an E chord, or E5 it can also be called. So to do this, we are going to go to fret 2 on the yellow A string and the blue D string. We only want to strum the 3 strings closest to us, and we don't want to let this ring out like this. We want to stop it dead with our right hand like this. So if you just lightly pat the strings after you've strummed it, it will just cut off the sound because we're going to have a rest here. It's only half a beat to rest, so it's very short. Anyway, next, let's go to a D chord, or D5, it can be called also in this case. So we're going to take our first finger and place this on fret 2 on the orange G string. Then we can take our second finger or third finger, doesn't matter really, and put this on the green B string, fret 3. Now we're going to strum the D chord from the D string, the blue one. We're going to strum from the blue one down. We don't really want to hear the purple E string closest to the ground though, so I'm muting it just by letting these fingers just touch it a little bit. So let's now do 3 strums, down, up, down, and then we'll pat with our right hand to cut off the sound for another half beat rest. Here we go. Okay, that brings us on to our third chord, which is an A chord or A5 chord. And to do this, we need to hold the middle 2 strings on fret 2. So that's the blue D string and the orange G string. So you can do it like this, or you can bar it like this, which is the way I usually do. So that means just using your first finger holding both strings. It's totally fine if it slightly touches the other strings underneath, because actually that's good because it will help mute them, because we actually don't want to hear those last 2 strings anyway. Or if you do this version, you can mute them just by, again, not having them that arched. They could just rest. So anyway, let's strum this chord 3 times. The A chord from the A string, which is yellow. Down, up, down again. And then we'll pat the strings to cut off the sound. Okay, so far we have E, D, A. Okay, that brings us on to some really cool lead diddly bits. So the first thing we need to do is a pull off of fret 3 on the purple E string. Now, if you're not sure how to do this, it's basically, here's a quick lesson. You just pick the string, and then that will be followed by our finger pulling down and away off the string. So it's going to come off the string completely, but in a downwards motion. It's good to do it in a downwards motion because it will make your pull off louder. It will accent the sound. So here I go. I'm going to do it slow. I'm going to pick the string, and pull down and off. It's important to keep your fingers stiff as you pull away, because if your finger goes like a jelly finger, like a jelly baby's finger, then it might not work. At least kind of ping off. And then we repeat that also on the green B string. Okay, then on to string bend time. This is going to be on fret 2 on the orange G string. Now, if you're not sure how to do a string bend, basically, I'd recommend using 2 or 3 fingers here. It's fine if they spill over to fret 1, it doesn't matter. And we need to press really, really hard and pick the string, and then we're going to push the bend up and then release it back down to where it came from, like this. Now that's quite hard to do there because there's a lot of string tension on fret 2. If you're on an acoustic guitar, what you could do is, if that's like really hard to do, you could, instead of doing a bend, you could do a slide, and you'd need to slide from fret 2 to 4 and then back to 2 again. So I'd pick it once, slide to 4 and back to 2. And also likewise, if you're doing a bend, you need it to sound like the note on fret 4, which is a B note, by the way. See, now it's, I know it's not flat or sharp. If I bent it like this, you know, this would be a bit flat. So we need to make it sound like we're going to fret 4. Or, either way is good. But AC/DC, I believe, do it as a bend. And don't forget to press really hard whether you're doing a slide or a bend, otherwise the sound will cut out. Now, anyway, after we've done that, we then just pull off where we already are, fret 2 on the G string. So bend, go back, release down, pull off. Or slide to 4 and back, pull off. Okay, so let's play the verse. So far, we have this: E, D, A, pull off, fret 3, next string, bend, release it down, pull off. It's kind of like that bit. It's like a 4-part thing. So part 1, we pick. Part 2, we bend up. Part 3, we go back, release down. Part 4, pull off. So it's important to get the sequence of those 4 things in order, otherwise it won't sound right. Okay, now on to the next part of the verse. It starts exactly the same. So we have E again, D again, A again. And now we have like a picky pattern, like a ditty bop. So to do this, we go to, oh, it's kind of a pattern to it. There really is actually. Try and aim to keep your first finger on fret 2 pretty much the whole time on the yellow A string, because we're going to keep bouncing back to this every other fret. So it goes like this. I'm going to pluck fret 2. I'm going to keep that finger there whilst my second finger plays fret 4 on the red E string. Go back to fret 2. Third finger on fret 5 on the E string. Back to fret 2. Baby finger on fret 6 on the E string. Back to fret 2. And here you can let go if you need to now put the baby finger on fret 7 on the E string. You can kind of slide it down and off as well here. So we pluck, slide, and then come away. So that's a little faster on the picky pattern. 2, 4, 2, 5, 2, 6, 2, 7, slide and release off. Okay, so I'm going to play the whole verse now a couple of times through, but not too fast. So try and join in if you can. That'd be really cool, even if it's just on the chords or a couple of bits and bobs. So after 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. E, D, A, pull offs, bend, pull off, E again, D, A, picky pattern, 2, 4, 2, 5, 2, 6, 2, 7, slide, E, D, A, pull offs, bend, pull off, E again, D, A, picky pattern, 2, 4, 2, 5, 2, 6, 2, 7. Okay, so that's lots of fun once you get into that. Right, now that's the whole intro and verse covered, because that sequence just keeps repeating for those parts. And then now let's go on to the chorus. So, okay, first up we have an A chord, like A from earlier, fret 2 on the middle 2 strings. I'm going to bar it though instead. I prefer to do that, so I'm using one finger over both strings. Okay, so one strum from the yellow A string. Now onto the E chord, which was the first chord of the whole song. So I'm going to bar this also. My finger's just going to go up a string. So basically, if I use two fingers, I'm holding these two strings here, A and E, A and D strings, yellow and blue, but I'm barring. Okay, one strum. Next, let's go on to what's called the B power chord. So the cool thing is this finger can stay exactly where it is on the yellow A string, fret 2. Next, our third finger will go to fret 4 on the blue D string. And this already is a B power chord just like this, but AC/DC use the extra fat version of a power chord where they also add in the little finger too. That's going to go on the orange G string fret 4, so just underneath this finger. They're next door neighbours. Right, so one strum, we only want to just strum the strings we're holding. If you want to know more about power chords, then just check out my power chord video in the link below in the description, because I go into power chords in more detail there. And then we go back to the A chord, back to the B power chord, then we repeat all of that again. So A, E, B, A, B. Okay, so that's that, and then the next part is this. We're going to do a G chord, so it's like a funny version though. So I would plonk, well, first or second finger, it doesn't really matter, on the red E string, fret 3. Next, we use our third finger on the green B string, fret 3. Then our little baby finger on the purple E string, fret 3. So all these fingers are holding fret 3s. We can strum every single string, but something to be wary of is we want to mute the yellow A string like this, so we can't really hear it when we strum. Now, how I'm doing that is I'm just letting this finger touch it a tiny bit, so it's not too arched. And we do one strum. Then we go to a D chord. So basically, it's a bit different from the D from earlier actually. We need to do this. We need to take our first finger, fret 2 on the orange G string. Our second finger goes on fret 2 on the purple E string. Then our third finger for the third fret. That's on the green B string, fret 3. I think of the D chord like a sandwich. So the fret 3 is on the string in between the fingers that are on fret 2. So fret 3 is the filling and the fingers on fret 2 are like the bread. So I guess it's the sort of thing Phoebe might say from Friends, but I made this one up myself. So we're going to strum the D chord from the blue D string. Here we go. Just one strum. Okay, Next, we go to the A chord from earlier. So fret 2 on the middle 2 strings. I would definitely recommend barring it this time though, like me, because basically you'll see what's to come next. It just works out better. So I'm going to do one strum. And I'm going to keep my finger there because we're going to come back to this in just a moment. But for now, my second finger is going to reach around here, fret 3 on the red E string, and do what's called a quarter bend. So earlier we learnt about string bends. When it's a quarter, it's just we're bending it quarter of the way, like a tiny amount. And because it's the string on the edge of the fretboard, we can't really push it up because then you'll get a weird sound. Like a weird alien cat. So we just need to pluck the string and pull it down instead, just a tad. Like that. That's all that is. It's just a tiny... Sounds more like a cow mooing. And then we go back to the A chord. So that's why I wanted you to keep your finger there. So... See, if you did it with 2 fingers, that'd be tricky because you'd have to go move your hand up and put both fingers back. So this way's more straightforward if you can reach to do it like this. Anyway, that whole sequence then repeats again from the G chord again. So G, D. Ah, look, you can keep that finger there actually, going from G to D, can't you? So this finger on the green string is staying. There we go. That's a little guitar hack. Very jammy today. A, bend, A. Okay, so now we've done that, it goes actually now back to the first section of the chorus we learnt before. So A, E, B, A, B, and again A, E, B, A, B, and then it goes to the G from earlier, and we're going to play 8 strums like this. I'll play it slow. So the first 3 strums are slower. I would strum down and up. Down, 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 up, down, up. And then we go to the D chord from earlier. Again, don't forget to keep this finger from going from G to D right where it is there. That saves a little time. And we just do 3 strums. Okie dokie. Now I'm going to play the whole entire chorus. Here we go. Not too fast after 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. A, E, B, A, B, and again. A, E, B, A, B, G, D, barley A for sure, bend, A, and again G, D, barley A, quarter bend, A, back to the other part, A, so keep your finger here, E, B, A, B, and again A, E, B, A, B, G, D. A little faster. Back to the verse. Yes. And so on. So basically, the verse and the chorus, they keep repeating round and round a bunch of times. Then there's this awesome face-melting shredding guitar solo, which is for another day. And then later on, there's a bitty bob that's called the bridge. So anywho, let's do that next. So we're going to pluck open on the red E string closest to you. Then we're going to pull off on the yellow A string from fret 5 to fret 4. So we're going to hold 2 frets at the same time using 2 fingers here. So I'm holding fret 4, I'm holding fret 5. Now what we do here is we're going to pluck the string and then my finger pulls off of fret 5 in a downwards way like we learnt before. So I'm pulling off to fret 4 because this finger's staying here on 4. So this finger, its only job is to just press really hard on fret 4 because it's helping to secure the string to keep it kind of stable for this finger to pull off. It's like teamwork. If it wasn't pressing hard enough, it might go a bit wrong. Anyway, after that, we just travel to fret 2. We're going to stand the yellow string for now still. Then we go to fret 4. Then we go to fret 3 on the red E string. Now I'll use your sort of second finger here. Back to that fret 2 on the yellow A string. Fret 5 on the red E string. Back to the 2. Fret 6 on the E string. Back to the 2. Fret 7 on the E string. You can let go of 2 here if you can't reach. I can reach though actually, so it's like yoga for the hands. A little faster. I do a little vibrato there. You don't have to though. Okay, so that plays 4 times like I just did. And then we repeat that exact same pattern, all the same frets and fingers and everything, but all shifted down a string, or up a string, depending on which way you look. Well, technically, we should say up, but it looks like it's down. Anyway, that's a whole other mind boggle for another day. So next, let's pluck open on the yellow A string. So same pattern, it's just starting on the yellow A string this time. And now on the blue D string, pull off 5 to 4. Travel to 2. Fret 4. Fret 3 on the yellow A string. Back to fret 2 on the blue one. Then fret 5 on yellow. Back to 2. Fret 6 on yellow. Back to 2. Fret 7 on yellow. Little faster. Okay, so basically that goes twice. And then we go back to the first picky pattern where it started on the red E string again, and it goes for further 2 more times there. So I'm just going to play the whole bridge now, which is like a crazy picky pattern. Here we go. Good luck to me. I'm not going to play it too fast. After 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Next string. Back to where we began. Now a bit faster. Back to the chorus. and so on. It's a lot of fun. Once you get into the groove or play along with it, it's really fun. Also, maybe it's might be a good exercise to just play the bridge even with a metronome. In its own right, that's a good exercise. And I feel like this is a really good song to learn because not only will it teach you the main chords you get in most songs anyway, like E's, A's, D's and G's, oh, and a power chord, but also it will teach you like lead techniques, slides, bends, quarter bends, pull-offs. Yeah, I think that's it. We've covered it. Okay, so here's all the parts. So far, just a quick run through, not all the repeats, but each section anyway. So here I go. I love that bit. Best bit. Yeah. Of course. Anyway, it's just a quick rough run through. It wasn't the whole structure, but that's all the parts covered. So thank you so much for subscribing, and here are my social media handles before I forget. So anywho, remember, practice makes progress. Keep it fun, people, and I'll see you cats on the flippity flop. Oh, here's the best bit. Yes.